Hi, everyone. Welcome on to today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Erin Sullivan, Director of Client Relations for the National Association of Sales Professionals. Thank you so much for joining us live if you're here today, or watching on replay if you found this through another, later on in the time as well. So going to give everyone a few moments to just get settled on today. Let us know when you're here live with us in the chat. We are looking forward to today's webinar. It is all about the 7 mindset shifts that you can make to really unleash your inner performer in 2021. We had a doozy of a year in 2020, and so everyone right now is looking for ways that they can rebound after a tough year, that they can handle uncertainties that are thrown at them. They're looking for ways that they can find their motivation again, their, positivity in their mindset, looking how to connect more authentically with others after, a year of a lot of isolation for people. And so our commitment to you at NASP is really to deliver a series of webinars throughout the next year, really driven by data, driven by, principles of what people are saying that they're looking for. And sales professionals specifically, we really want to deliver to you webinars that can really, truly impact your performance and your work-life happiness as well. So let us know in the chat when you're here from us. NASP is an international organization. So we have sales professionals, sales leaders, entrepreneurs tuning in from all over the globe. So we love to see where people are coming in from. Welcome Ella from Washington, Palmer from California. We've got Robin, welcome from Nashville, and Kenya, Pixon from Kenya, welcome on. So keep letting us know. We want to make sure that you don't miss a minute of the good stuff when I introduce to you our CEO, Rod Hairston. Rod is a phenomenal trainer, mentor, sales professional, and is the CEO of NASP. And he's really built out this company to not just give you sales tips and strategies, but really effectively change your mindset and your behavior, giving you new results. So he has a wealth of experience, not only from coaching billion-dollar level executives, but also from his own sales experience and his past experience in the Navy as well, in the Naval Special Forces. So it really is what sets apart NASP from a lot of other sales training companies, because Rod's expertise is really blending the psychology and the mindset piece and moving it into changing your behavior. In the Navy SEALs, it was, you had to change your behavior to survive. Your sales career may not be that extreme, but it's still changing your behavior to get a specific outcome, a specific result. So Rod is going to share with you guys today really 7 pillars, 7 principles that you can take on immediately and start changing your mindset to change your behaviors, to change your results. So that's what we're all looking for, is how can we continuously grow and be better than we were the day before. So Rod, I'm going to turn it over to you to take it away with your 7 mindset shifts that sales professionals can take in 2021.
Thank you so much, Erin. Guys, the word mindset is used so much that it's lost its flair, and we actually look at it as we actually have a choice. And I want you to be careful about that thinking. These aren't things that we can choose to do. We can choose whether or not to use them intentionally or allow them to be used against us unintentionally. And what does that mean? Well, that simply means that I'm going to grow, I'm going to perform, I'm going to play, I do have a score, I do have some result that I'm creating in my life consistently, and I'm doing it over and over again every day. Every day that I wake up, I break my fast, I start to think, create, perform, and I get a result. And so as Erin was saying, and thank you, by the way, Erin, is that in the special forces, I was on a mobile comm team, and we did all of the communication for SEAL teams, CIA, DEA, all special sort of real world communication. And everything was so high pressure. It was a lot of uncertainty. But they would always say to us in training, it's all in your mind. It's all here. It's how you think. Your mind, your body is going to respond to your mind. Your emotional state of mind comes from the meanings that you attach to things. So I want all of you to think that way. especially as sales professionals, we don't have any other choice but to win because we're in the game. And it doesn't mean you always get the result to win. Sometimes winning is being the best that you could be in that moment, right? The best that you can be in that moment. They were interviewing Tiger Woods, and he was like, I celebrate great shots regardless of the results. And they were like, what do you mean by that? He goes, well, sometimes I hit the perfect shot and the wind will pick up. And I tested the wind, but it picks up. It's just things that you can't do about that. But I want to celebrate the shot because it's the consistency of me doing my part, which is going to ultimately allow me to win and what I determine winning is. So today I want to go over 7 mindsets that are going to support you. But these mindsets are going to beautifully align with performance for you and must have opportunities to grow your business and get the results that you want. Now, guys, I want you to understand this. This is personal to me. And when I bought NASP, I bought it for one reason. I got so sick of sales professionals getting a bad rap, or when you go to a party, some people would say, oh, I'm into business development, or I'm into marketing. No, I want us to be proud to be the lifeblood of organizations. It doesn't exist without us, right? Yeah, I'm a CEO. I'm a multimillionaire. I'm part of investment programs now. I go and I support and invest in other organizations. I do this. I'm on boards. I'm a sales guy, guys. That's what I am first. I am an influencer. I sell ideas, and I'm proud of it, and I want you to be proud of it. And so these mindsets are going to not only support you with that interpersonal communication, but also in how you see the world. You got to remember 2020 taught us something. It was like, listen, if your psychology is going to be built from the outside things, you're going to be in trouble. You have to be and grow from the inside out versus the outside in. You gotta start with the mental capacity before the physical capacity could execute at the highest level. So let's get right into those mindsets. The first one I want to talk today, and again, what is a mindset? I'm gonna keep repeating myself, guys, because I really, really want you guys to be associated with us and a member of our organization. So really listen to these and think about how this applies to you and growing to that next level, because that's what a mindset is. It's designed to support you in growing intentionally towards your vision and the results that you want to create in your life. And most importantly, to be valuable. To be valuable, you have to be intentionally seeking to grow your capability. And that's really what it is. These are your abilities. And that's these 7 abilities, right? That's what I'm going to talk about today as it applies to the mental aspects of you and how it transfers to the emotional and then the physical aspects of you, where you execute and make it happen at the highest level. The first one is responsibility, right? My ability to respond. That is mine, guys. I don't give that to anyone. It might not be my fault what happens to me, but it's always my responsibility. My ability to respond. It's the only way I can grow and go to the next level. I know that in order for me to win, I'm response-able. What does that mean, response-able? Well, whatever happens, I believe I can respond to it. That's what it means. I have 100 billion brain cells, guys. The calculations and permutations of what I'm capable of on creativity, problem solving, memory is infinite. We can't even measure it. Why would I give that away by being victim or playing victim or allowing someone else to take my responsibility? Even if they wronged me, I still want to use my mind to grow from this. Everything that happens in my life, I want to grow from. That's it. I want to grow from. I want to get better. I want to chisel away at the muscle, my mental muscle, my physical muscle. I want to chisel away at those things. And the way I do that is by taking back my ability to respond. What does that look like? Well, to say that everything that happens, it's my responsibility to deal with it. And how I deal with it is going to come from inside out, not outside in, right? And then you're going to see those inner resources. The second ability is flexibility. This is an important one, guys. I had to change my whole way of thinking about business after just 1 year. 1 year. And you saw, man, I had partners and we had business relationships, and people went a little crazy because they don't really have any flexibility. Flexibility is akin to a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. What does that mean? Open your mind. If you don't have the results, then open your mind to a different way, guys. Open your mind open your mind to change, to grow, to expand. Do it differently. Stop defending something that hasn't worked. You see that all over the world right now. People are defending what's not working, and they're calling it faith. Oh, I got faith that this diet that I'm taking, Rod, is going to work, but you've already gained 60 more pounds than you started it. I know, Rod, but you got to have faith. No, that's called being an idiot, right? Faith simply means going into uncertainty, not defending your certainty. That's what it means. Okay. And I want all of you to make again, if we're going to take advantage of 2021 and all of the opportunities, then you're going to have to be flexible. You're going to have to open your mind. You're going to have to start saying it's okay to deal with the uncertainty of moving into the unknown, because that is the most intelligent thing that I can do right now. Okay. So flexibility is key. The next ability I have right here is capability. In order to do any of this, you have to believe that you're capable. And guys, I just told you, 100 billion brain cells. We use less than 2%. I know I said 1%, but let me say it the correct right here. 2%. I use 1%. You guys use 2%. Let's say it that way. Of our capability in the area of creativity, problem solving, memory. Guys, we got to figure it out. You got to think a little bigger. You got to expand your vision. You have to realize that everything that we need is within us right now, but it can't come out until we awaken it. And you can't awaken it until you realize that it's there, right? And the only way you're going to realize that it's there is create a vision or a goal of what you want to accomplish. And more than that, remember, life is not about what you get, it's about who you become. So it's good to have achievement goals, but I want you to have visions around being different, growing, expanding, because that's where fulfillment comes from. So yeah, I want you to have wealth. I want you to have that financial freedom. I want you to have that significance that comes with the money that you create for your business and taking care of your clients. But more than anything else, and appreciate who you become along the way. That's what capability is all around. So remember, you constantly want to expand your vision. You never, ever want to be satisfied with, this is where I am. No, as long as you're alive, continue to grow. Be grateful for what you accomplish, but seek to grow. Seek to expand your capability, because it's a lot there, all right? The next ability I want to talk about is accountability. Accountability is what we're all here for, guys. This is really more of a spiritual concept to me. And I know it doesn't sound that way. Like, a lot of people went into sales to get away from being accountable to someone, but we're accountable to each other. I'm accountable to you. It's why we bought this association and why we put so much beautiful content in it, right? Why do we do it? Because again, I recognize that I'm accountable to you and you're accountable to me, even if we ever meet each other. I want to be accountable to you to be the very best that I can be today, and then be greater tomorrow. That's what I want to do. That's why I bought this company. This is why we do these webinars. We're all accountable to each other. Guys, we'll do more for others than we'll do for ourselves. And we'll get more fulfillment for doing more for others than we'll get from doing it from ourselves. So accountability is key. And I really want to take account the value that I'm bringing to you, the value that we're bringing to the world. All of our programs are designed to go through every one of these things I'm talking about: responsibility, flexibility, capability, accountability. I want to hold you accountable to going through that resistance, through those blockages, through that fear, through that resistance that we all fear, that we all have blocking us from our genius. I want to hold you accountable to getting past that and together move to where we know we need to go. Right now, we're accountable to each other to look for what's similar, look for being valuable. Okay? So accountability is key. And I want you to be accountable not only to other people, but teach them how to hold you accountable. When you join NASP, we're going to ask you, how do you want us to hold you accountable? How do you want us to do it? Because we are. We're going to hold you accountable no matter how great you are. We got people that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars in NASP and people that just got out of school. And you know what? Same principles apply. Same principles apply. So accountability is key to growing and expanding and taking your life to that next level and being valuable. The next ability is vulnerability. Vulnerability is really power, guys. Vulnerability is how I grow, because here's the deal, guys. It's very vulnerable to go from the 3rd grade to the 4th grade and the 4th grade to the 5th grade. I remember as a kid feeling like, man, it's going to be so nervous going from elementary school to middle school and then middle school to high school. You were vulnerable. You were vulnerable as a freshman. You remember that. You remember how everybody would say they're going to do this and they're going to, it was a lot of vulnerability, but we have to grow. It's part of life. It's what made us powerful. It's how we grew up. It's how we developed our emotional muscle and our mental muscle. So we think now that we're adults or we have our career, that vulnerability is no longer needed. It's needed more now than ever. The world is asking us to speed up our ability to grow. We never get out of school, my friends. We never get out of school. And as long as you are alive, seek to grow, which means I got to shed old skin. That's what makes me vulnerable. I have to let patterns go that aren't serving me. I have to consciously and intentionally mature to grow to the next level. All of that is vulnerability. And that's what makes us great. It's what allows us to grow and adapt and overcome. But in the middle of going from one shell to the other shell to get so I can grow in that shell, I'm vulnerable. But if I stay in the shell that I'm in, I'm going to die. Okay? So the only power we have is the power to be intentionally vulnerable, to do it before we have to. And, you know, again, being on this webinar, joining the association, right? Really, really listening to the things that I'm talking about right now and opening your mind to it. It's all little aspects of vulnerability, but it's the only way we expand. The next ability is scalability. Guys, I gotta notice my growth. I gotta do things in order to grow. Probably out of all of the abilities, this one is the most important. Why? Because I'm telling you here, this is not motivation. You're utilizing so little of your potential when it comes to your mental capacity, your physical capacity. In the military, when I went into the special spec war, and you were fit. You were this young, fit, early 20s. I think I was like 21, 22, really strong. They said that you're 7 times stronger. 7 times. I thought they were, how can you be 7 times stronger? You are on a physical level. Guys, on a mental level, it's off the charts how smart you are. Rod, I mean, you don't know me. No, I don't really care about your programming or your conditioning or your mental habits and emotional habits. That's what we're living through. We're living through what somebody else told us about us, or bad schooling, or bad teachers, or people misdiagnosing genius. I can go down, we can spend a whole course on it. And this is how a lot of us ended up in sales in the first place, being ADD and all of these learning disabled labels and all these other things. You're geniuses, guys. That's what you are. Now, how do you start seeing it? Do the work. Rebuild the habits. Realize that you're operating from habit and that you will continuously. I love building good new habits. When I build a vision, I know I got to build the identity, and identity is just my mental and emotional habits. And then I got to know my purpose. And as I build a new vision, I do the same thing. Guys, that's scalability. Scalability is setting myself up to scale, to be more. I have a friend of mine, and this guy runs 9 companies, and he's worth probably about $600 million. Okay. And I always look at him and go, how do you get more time? How do you get more time? And I sound silly. He doesn't have more time. He's just scaling, right? He's scaling. He's mentally scaling. He's utilizing more of his capability. That's what he's doing. And he's doing it intentionally. I'm stuck because I think I know who I am. I don't really believe I can scale. Well, I do, but I'm playing this part for you right now because that's what I'm doing. And that's why we're doing this webinar. And that's what you're going to do. We're going to be able to get more done in less time because we're going to scale and utilize our genius at the highest level. That's what scalability is, my friend. And the last one we're going to talk about today is measurability. We're going to measure it, and anything measured, anything that's not measured is not real, okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, I really want you to enjoy your life. So as we grow and this is why our certifications are 45 days and our programs are consistent, because we want you to measure and appreciate your growth. You see, when you invest in a business or a stock or a real estate, you really enjoy the appreciation, hopefully. And you really want to stay away from the depreciation. We want everything to appreciate. The only way things appreciate is by we measure how much we put in and how much has gone up. In that's measurement, my friends. Well, we want you to do that same thing for you. You are nothing but a beautiful, beautiful opportunity to grow and expand. I don't care how wealthy or how smart or how intelligent you are. We all can grow and go to the next level. In fact, that's where our fulfillment comes from. But you can't get any of that if it's not measured. A lot of us aren't even enjoying all of our success because it's not measured. I remember sitting down and just looking at all of my goals and my visions and how not only have I achieved them, but I've gone well beyond. But did I really enjoy it? Did I appreciate it? Did it? No, I didn't. And I need to do a better job of that. And so I want to challenge all of you to do that. I want to challenge all of you in 2021. How do we take advantage of this opportunity that's presented to us that came from 2020 is by understanding the 7 mindsets. And I want to remind you of those again. Responsibility, flexibility, okay? Really key. Your capability, your accountability, your vulnerability, your scalability, and your measurability. When you join the association, you can count on these things. You can count on us putting you into an environment that gives you that opportunity to continuously expand these abilities on your mental mind, your emotional mind, and your physical mind, which turns to the results that we want. Guys, you're awesome. I look forward to seeing you guys in NASP, and I want to bring Aaron back to talk to you about some really amazing things.
Thanks, Rod. Absolutely incredible. We've got a few extra minutes here, so I'm going to ask you a few questions. But before I do that, would love to hear, we have so many people that are on live with us right now. So would love to hear from you guys, which of these mindsets, these abilities are really the ones that resonate most with you? Which ones do you feel like are those shifts that either you're really wanting to focus on in 2021, or that maybe you feel like, you just want to prioritize more in 2021. So would love to hear, drop them in the chat. Number one, again, if you want a reminder here, responsibility, flexibility, capability, accountability, vulnerability, scalability, and measurability. So drop in the chat, let us know which ones are resonating with you. And while you do that, Rod, just a couple questions in the last few minutes here. So why do you think it is so important that sales professionals specifically are making these shifts in 2021? Oh, you got to unmute. I can do that. All right, we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, sorry. Because in 2020, with the pandemic and all of the changes and happening all over the world, we see that uncertainty is going to show itself a lot more. And we have to start developing a more of an internal frame. A lot of us have relied way too much on outside certainties and outside frames and outside institutions, even our own companies that we work for that we love. You now have to become your own organization. And these 7 abilities are the abilities and mindsets that will support you in becoming you Inc. Okay. And there's where we now can start developing the most stability. It's inside out versus outside in.
Love it. That's great. And we've heard a lot, again, as we're trying to progress through 2021 and really focus these webinars on being data focused and really tying in the key trends for both individual growth and then company professional growth as well. How do you see that these abilities can really be applied as we make this transition into that more data-centric industry?
Well, and you think about it, what do customers want more now in this world? Well, there's a lot of misinformation, and we don't, what's real and what's fact, and am I being manipulated? It's going to be really, really important that we all start doing our own research and understanding research. And there's some really beautiful research organizations out there that's doing the work for us. And we just got to add this into our responsibility. And we're going to support you that way in NASP as well. McKinsey, Gallup, NASP, right? It's a lot of organizations that we're going out and we're gathering. What are people saying? What do they actually need? What's the data? What is the psychology behind it? How do we now support you with making sure that you're on the right track with what you're offering and bringing to people, where it's backed up with fact and by data in all industries? So this is where we're going. People need that certainty, and we got to give it to them. Before we can give them that certainty, though, we have to give it to ourselves. And then we have to make sure that we're staying congruent with the data, the statistics, and everything around it to be congruent in our deliverable. Remember, our job is to be value first, money follows.
Awesome. You've said this a few times, but a very great closing remark from you is what can everyone, on the webinar today really take away with how can they start integrating in these 7 mindsets? What is, the one thing that they can do today, or the few things that they can do today to start taking the steps towards integrating in these new mindsets for a really successful and thriving 2021?
You can join NASP, join. I want to see you there. And number 2, what you can do, guys, is, again, start going to McKinsey and Gallup. And there's some really, really amazing books out there that you can read. Can be a continuous student, okay? And the beautiful thing about where we are in life right now is the information that we're looking for is everywhere. It's everywhere, right? It's not hard to find amazing content. The key is following through. Right? It's not what again, it's the few who do versus the many who talk, right? And it's the few who execute versus the many who just have really good ideas and amazing capability. So continuously study, continuously, even if you do it a little bit every day, remember the name of the game in the world that we live in now is consistency. Not going crazy, doing it for a day and then just a little bit every day. Build the mental habit and allow the mental habits to get the results for you. Build the emotional habits and allow the emotional habits to get the results for you. Build the physical habits and then allow the physical habits to get the results for you. And again, how do you do that? Take action to build a habit. Let the habit get the results in every aspect of life. That's a little bit every day. Stop focusing on results and focus on habits. Stop focusing on results and focus on identity. Stop focusing on results and focus on belief. And those belief, those identities, those mindsets will carry you right in a tremendous way towards any result that you're looking for.
Thank you so much, Rod. Absolutely incredible webinar today. Thank you all so much for joining us. As Rod mentioned, if you're not already a free member of NASP, head on over to our website, nasp.com/overview. Join for free. You'll be up to date with all of our upcoming webinars. new blog posts, and exciting announcements regarding new programs and our sales mastery community with Rod himself as well. So thank you all so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Have a great day.
Bye-bye, everyone.